The bill updates the rules for septic system inspections during real estate transactions, and it requires that only authorized septic system inspectors, as defined in the bill, can perform these inspections. And it also establishes minimum standards that inspectors must follow when conducting them. And so while this board sets the licensing requirements for the individuals who will be permitted to perform these inspections under this bill, the Virginia Department of Health is responsible for creating the regulations related to the design, installation, and operation of the septic systems. And so if you're looking at the bill, I gave you the enrolled version so we could look at the line numbers. On line 41, it's where it changes only individuals who hold a valid on-site sewage system operator, on-site sewage system installer, or on-site soil evaluator license pursuant to Chapter 23, Title 54.1 shall be authorized to perform a septic system inspection in connection with any real estate transaction. And again, you can see the new language added here. And if you have any questions, we'd be happy to try to answer them.
This bill, I can tell you, and many of you, I'm sure, have received questions as well. I've received questions, suggestions. Folks telling me you should adopt this inspection report. The board, DPOR, we're not doing that. That is not what this tells us to do. The statute is very clear of what the requirements of a septic system inspection requires. It's very clear who can do it. If certain associations want to assist their members in drafting a checklist on a septic system inspection, sure, they can. But the board is not required to take any action because of this bill.
I'm going to go on record and to state that I am a strong advocate for this bill. I, on at least once a week, come behind on a real estate transaction where the termite guy's been out and it's a botched situation. It is no fun for me to tell someone, you have about a $60,000 problem after they bought their house and had that system evaluated by someone who had no idea what they were looking at. That is damaging to the constituents of this state. And it's time that it needs to be changed, and I'm glad that it has. What's that? Are you laughing at me?
Sorry, no.
She's laughing. Okay. There is a whole lot. I've gotten a ton of phone calls also, and emails and beat downs, and my position stands. I mean, this is something that needs to be done. We need to do better. We need to, this bill actually creates a consumer protection for our constituents, and it protects them from the termite guy or from someone who really has no idea what they're looking at.
The way it is now, it's determined really by the contract what kind of inspection is getting done. That can range from walkover of the yard, to something more in depth like what is kind of described here. But the days of like a last minute, it's like one of the last things real estate agents think about as far as scheduling an inspection. Having to pull records right there slowed it down. In some counties, it could take you a week or plus to get records back. And it's also a significant thing to report the capacity of the gallons per day and bedroom count, is often the septic permit doesn't mess with the county, maybe EIS records, listing of how many bedrooms. And where it's going to become most complicated is when they don't have records. Because then if you read about that, provide recommendations to determine capacity. That is like for an AOC to reverse engineer, basically.
And that's doable.
It's doable, but we're talking, this impacts the real estate agent's flow a lot.
I agree. And I'm just going to expound on that in case there's any gaps in knowledge. I stopped doing transfer property evaluations because I felt like the real estate agents had conflicting interests. You have a buyer's agent who wants everything uncovered, everything known. You have the selling agent who just wants you to walk over that deal and go away. So there was it depends on who you're dealing with. And then when you find something, then it becomes a nightmare. So this really kind of, I want to say, levels the playing field. amongst the real estate agents? And is it possible, I mean, would this information, and I don't know when the real estate board meets, if they have already met, is this something that could be brought to their attention? Because they need to know, otherwise they're gonna get a black eye. Someone will get a black eye.
Yeah, there's gonna be definitely a zone of,
There's a learning curve involved.
oh yeah,
But they need to, but if they can be provided the information on the front end,
yeah.
I think that would be helpful to them as professionals, so that they have they know what's coming.
We can certainly share this information with the real estate board. We can also share it with the real estate association, which
Very good.
will help disperse it throughout brokers and agents. Because it sounds like if they wait to the last minute to do this, they may end up having to extend the closing and it go further. So this should really be kind of on the front end. Okay. We will certainly share this information with
Thank you.
the board and the appropriate association.
North Carolina has done this for a while. I mean, talk to people in North Carolina that